One of my stories is about canceling contracts. When I came in with my identical twin, 6 weeks before we were born, my mother's older sister died of breast cancer. And I knew my mother ended up having breast cancer, followed by all her sisters, and all of them died of it. So I knew after my mother got it when I was like 23, that I would, when I started visiting a breast cancer surgeon on a regular basis, which was a frightening event every 6 months or whatever it was, that I would die without my breasts on my body. And I always felt horrible about it. I had great fear about it. And then I moved from Cleveland, where this all started, to Chicago, and I stopped seeing a breast surgeon, and I started just doing regular OB/GYN stuff rather than being in fear. I did have a mammogram every year. But then I came to California and I met with a woman who said, you need to not have all the mammograms you have every year, because it's really difficult for your body to absorb all the radiation. And I realized I no longer believed that I would die from breast cancer or die without my boobs. And I metaphorically, at that point, canceled the contract that I would die that way. And I don't know how to, I now do it more overtly on Asking Like God, that I cancel contracts, sometimes with people and sometimes not. And it's really a very cool thing. My identical twin was not able to do that. My mother and all her sisters died of breast cancer, and my twin did have a double mastectomy with horrible, horrible results and lots of problems, and then was in remission, so to speak, and ended up getting bone cancer and dying looking horrible. But she died several years ago, and when her breast surgeon knew she had an identical twin, he told her emphatically, you need to tell your twin to go get checked. And she called and we talked, and she said, my breast surgeon says you need to go get checked. And I said, no. And a couple weeks later, she called and said, I'm never going to talk to you about this ever again. And I thought, thank you, but you need to go get checked. And I said, no. And she was just not happy about any of that. And I still, after my last mammogram was in 2002, and I've not had one since. And in truth, my sister's breast cancer was not found through a mammogram, but through her husband finding a lump and having to have an ultrasound or whatever to find it. But the mammograms never worked. And I've had no indication of any problems, and I continue to be healthy. The other interesting saga about all that is, from Carolyn Mace's Anatomy of the Spirit, I knew that a lot of breast cancer comes from being angry at a female. And I thought, oh, as Pam had an acrimonious relationship with her mother-in-law, she was a lovely woman, but a little judgmental. And I thought, okay, great, it's her. And then I went, oh, fuck, is probably what I said, sorry. And I went, it's me. That my sister, my identical twin, was pretty angry at me a lot, because I just never made any sense to her. And that's okay, because I'm happy and free of cancer and living in joy. Have a wonderful day. Bye.